I'm live. Grateful day. Welcome to the episode 106 of the Faith Forward Fearlessly podcast with your host, Jenée Hudson, the Uplifter. I empower entrepreneurs to overcome toxic environments and self-doubt, to take decisive action, lead boldly in identity, and to persevere, all anchored in faith. First of all, I want to say, you guys, happy belated and merry blessed Christmas. You know, December 26th is a powerful moment. It's the day after celebration, when the lights are still glowing, but life begins to return to reality. For many of us, you guys, this season brings joy, but for others, it also brings reflection, grief, healing, and quiet strength. And that's why today's episode matters so deeply. So before we dive into today's special episode, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, the Faith Forward Fearlessly podcast by Jenée Hudson, where you can watch and share every episode and just be a blessing to someone else. The link is in the bio, as well as it would be in the caption of this episode today. All right, time for my shirt. So today's shirt pretty much says, "Simply Blessed." That's what today's shirt says. And it's simply a reminder of how grounded in peace I am after the storm. Not because life has been easy, by no means, but instead because I recognize toxicity and I survived it. So, I chose to heal throughout all of this, and I chose to walk by faith and to persevere. That's what this means by simply being blessed to me. So it reflects an awareness that protects my purpose, a resilience shaped by lived experience, and the wisdom to walk away from environments, toxic ones at that silence, drain, and restore my actual identity. It is a choosing of clarity over chaos is pretty much what it's about. Alignment over approval and authority over trauma. It's quiet confidence, rooted faith, and reclaimed power. Knowing that I don't have to explain my growth, prove my worth, or to just relive my actual pain, because my survival, healing, and service to others speak to themselves. So listen, this particular transition into today's topic, you guys, is called Blessed Still Standing, a hero's journey of faith, survival, and service with special guest, Mary Rutherford Howard. Minor technical difficulties here. 1 second. This happened to me last time. 1 second. As you guys can see my background, I am not where I'm normally at. So, technical difficulty, just give me just a second. I'm actually in Las Vegas, you guys, visiting my mom for the amazing holiday. So, gotta show up where you're at, whatever happens. So 1 second, just minor technical difficulty here. All right, and we are, I believe, coming back. Hold on 1 second here. All right. Okay. So, but I just told you the amazing guest was going to be in today's episode, our special guest, Mary Rutherford Howard. But to start, allow me to share first 2 eye-opening statistics. The first one is that a recent global resilience research shows that over 70% of adults report experiencing at least one major life trauma, yet only a fraction received guidance on how to transform survival into purpose. And then the second one is studies from leadership and service-based organizations actually reveal that individuals who engage in like purpose-driven services after adversity are more than twice as likely to report long-term life satisfaction and emotional stability compared to those who like isolate after hardship. So those are 2 statistics for you for today. And you know, today's conversation is about being blessed and still standing. Not because life was easy, like I said earlier, but because resilience had the final word. Our special guest will embody what it means to survive storms, to undergo loss, and to still choose a life of service, integrity, and purpose. Her journey spans faith, perseverance, and the quiet strength it takes to actually keep going when life could have easily just taken her out. This episode is for anyone who has ever thought, I've been through too much. Maybe I'm not cut out as like an entrepreneur or for this actual journey that I'm going through, and needs that actual reminder that survival itself is evidence of purpose. So today, I am honored to introduce in just a few minutes our esteemed guest, Mary Rutherford Howard. But first, let me just tell you how amazing she is. Mary Rutherford Howard is a resilient woman of faith, and she was born in Mississippi, lived in Utah, New Orleans, and was a blessing in many other states and places. Currently residing in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's why I'm here. Her life is a powerful testimony of perseverance, integrity, and service against tremendous adversity, including personal loss and profound challenges. She has remained steadfast in her faith and committed to serving others. Due to her genuine and unique spirit, she is a blessing, you guys. She's a former chef, retail manager, marketing associate, current government voting trainer, and a part-time entrepreneur, because guess what? She bakes cakes like me, y'all. Mary embodied strength, rooted not only in her, not yet in wealth, let me just say that, but in character, compassion, and her purpose. Now in her later years, she continues to inspire through her journey, her heart for people, and her passion for bowling, dancing, sport activities, and cooking and baking, proving that faith can carry you through every storm just like it did her. So please join me in welcoming the phenomenal warrior, my hero, and my best friend, Miss Mary Rutherford Howard. Woo! You can have a seat. Hi, welcome. Yay! All right. Welcome, Mary, also known as Mom. You guys, this is my mom. This is my girl. Thank you so much for just joining me on my podcast. It's the last one of the year. You guys, she is so phenomenal. Look, I got some tissue because this is my girl. All right. Yes. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here with us. So, first of all, let me just say, so it seems that you can be reached on Instagram at Mary Rutherford Howard, correct?
Correct.
Okay, great. And so everyone, she actually lives here in Las Vegas where we're at, and I'm visiting her for the holidays as well as the new year. And just so you know, she also makes and sells those same delicious lemon homemade pound cakes, all right? Just like I do. So go ahead if you're in Las Vegas and DM her directly on Instagram at Mary Rutherford Howard. That's how you get to her for those delicious pound cakes, all right? Okay, so to guide us today in our discussion, we do have 5 giftful questions that I'm eager to just continue to explore with our amazing legend and guest, Miss Mary Rutherford Howard. So you ready to get started?
I am ready to get started.
All right. Okay, so gift and question number 1. So you've lived and served in many places, from just being born in Mississippi to living in New Orleans, Louisiana, Utah, and now Las Vegas. So how did each season just shape your faith and strength for like understanding of what it truly means to be blessed? Kind of like tell us about a time of when you had of just having both me having as your daughter, my mom and my dad. Despite me having a father, I didn't have really a father, even though I have a father, if that makes sense. And just the fact that, you had to work 3 jobs and all those type of things.
Well, it wasn't easy, but I tell you what, faith can take you many places. You have to keep that faith and be a believer. That's what got me to the point where I am now. Like Jenée said, I was mother and father, but I still had all the faith to keep me going. Mm-hmm. And there's been many a times I would be wondering, how am I going to make this? Trying to work 3 jobs, trying to take care of 2 kids on my own. It was a struggle, but like I said, I kept my faith. Praying about any and everything. Sometimes I wonder, where am I going to get food to feed my kids? You know what? Yeah. The man up above took care of that. He shared with me. I would be penniless. Walk out the door, and all of a sudden, there'd be money laying on the ground. And I know it was the Lord that did that for me.
Yes,
just keep that faith. Please keep your faith.
Yes, I love that. Love that. Thank you for that question. Okay, and then we are moving on to gift number 2. So gift number 2, so you walked through deep adversity, through loss, and personal challenges, right? So yet you are still standing. You guys, I tell people she is the strongest person that I know. You would think she would just be so bitter in life because of all the stuff that my mom has had to go through in life and things like that. But she is very, very strong. So I love her for that. And she's taught me my strength as well. So with that being said, let's talk about like maybe because we are so close as mother and daughter, but how that was you having to just walk through life kind of like on your own and without your mom. Tell us about that story about your mom and not knowing her.
Well, at the first time I ever really seen my mother after 4 years old, I was 29 years old. And because my mother was illiterate, so she never could find out exactly where I was at. My father had taken me, like I said, at 4 years old. And she just didn't know. I have a sister that's under me that helped her out so very much to get to the point where she was at. But like I said, at 29, I finally found my mother to actually see her in person. I would talk to her on the phone and everything, but never had that chance to see her in person until I was 29. Then we grew very, very close. And at the age of 45, she passed, not knowing that she had cancer, but she ended up passing at 45. So I had just barely got to know her when she passed, but it's the Lord's will. He just put everything there for me to get to know her, even though, like I said, I didn't know her at the very beginning.
Why is it that what made you not know your mom until the age of 29?
My father had taken me to Utah with him. And in those days, back in the days when I was coming up as a kid, my father took me and he took my sister Joanne. But the police was after him so bad that he could not take us both. And seeing that my mother was taking care of her mother that had cancer also, she couldn't deal with both of us. So I was always the oldest and the smallest of all the kids. So he took me, and I just never had contact. I actually made up what my mother looked like because I didn't know exactly what she looked like. Like I said, I talk on phone. This day and age, you can pick up a phone and see it on your phone. But now, in those days, you couldn't
video.
do that. Yes.
Wow.
In those days, you could not. But that took me a moment. But then I was so set on to seeing my mother, and she was totally different than what I had always planned all my life. But she was my mother, and I love her.
Wow. So you made her in your mind since he had taken you. So you were 4?
I was 4.
4 years old. Like, imagine that. Wow. And to still be able to be as strong as you are and to persevere, just like, that is amazing. As even an entrepreneur, a mother, a wife at one point, like, that is phenomenal. So phenomenal. And I think he took you from the hospital, right? Or
no,
there weren't hospitals.
No, I was in New Orleans.
In New Orleans, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he was, like I said, he was trying to take me and my sister because he just felt a better life for us. But because she was taking care of her mother, but I ended up being the one that went because I was the smallest.
Wow.
And the oldest, so I ended up being with him.
So, today I could not imagine that, not being without my actual mother, my birth mother, and knowing her and things like that. Throughout my life, I've known what she's looked like, as you can see, beautiful, and that's where I get my looks from because I'm beautiful with her and things like that. But man, I could not imagine not having you at 4 years old. Like, you didn't know your mother until you were 29. That is wow. That is wow. And she still has all this faith and her strength and stuff like that, not even knowing her mom, who unfortunately, like she said, was illiterate when she first even met her. And then, like she said, she had a picture of what her own mother, who birthed her, looked like, even though she didn't look like that. But she envisioned that her mom was just beautiful, and she still was. But you were saying that, right?
Yes, she was a beautiful lady, even though, and even now they tell me, you're so much like your mother. Mm-hmm. I am more like my mother than any of her kids.
Wow.
But it was, a learning thing. And not only that, I think that even at the age of 4, 5, 6, started going to church, got faith. Faith will take you there. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you think, it's not going to work. And I used to ask, Lord, why? And people would tell me, you're not supposed to ask. But if you don't ask, how would you know?
That's right.
So I just kept my faith. I kept praying on it and kept my faith.
That is a blessing. So you guys, you heard it first here. Even through the storms of whatever you're going through in your life, along your journey as an entrepreneur, whatever it is, keep the faith. And then think about others like her who didn't even know her mom until she was 29. Like, that is wow. All right. We are going on to gift number 3. All right. Gift number 3. So your life reflects like service, from being a chef, a retail manager, to a government voting trainer even today, and an entrepreneur baking cakes just like myself. Those homemade lemon pound cakes, y'all. Okay, get them. Hit her up here in Vegas. But why has serving others always been important to you? And even when you're like facing storms on your own, like, I know a lot earlier we talked about having maybe, you guys, I said that I can't believe that my mother, Mary Rutherford Howard, would maybe even have enemies. But unfortunately, there are people out there like that, right? So what do y'all always say? Let me just say this. My mom was always telling me, baby girl, long-handed spoon for people. And why do you always say things like that?
I always say just feed them with a long-handed spoon, and I pray for them. But when I say that, long-handed spoon, I try not to be evil to anyone, even my enemies. And I know they don't care for me, but I just pray on it, and I pray for them, and I feed them with a long-handed spoon.
That's right. Yes. And that is a great point, because you don't have to be evil out here. I don't understand how anybody could be evil to her, because let me tell you about this woman. She will do anything for anyone, because that's just her heart and that's her character and stuff like that. So for people to be envious and to do things like, I don't even understand it, but she has a heart of gold. So the fact that she's still there for people despite whatever and against all odds, that is amazing.
Well, the one thing that I can say about that is everything I've done for someone, I just feel, even people that I really don't know, I do things for them. The reason I do things for them, because it always comes back to me. It always comes back to me. I might be down to $2 and they need one of those dollars. I give them that dollar. But you know what? I end up getting $4.
Wow.
So, and I just, like I tell you all the time, I just pray on it and keep my faith. I pray and I pray and I pray. I cry and I pray. I pray and I cry. Lord, why? But then it always works out for me. And I've come to the conclusion, it doesn't always come to me when I want it to come, but it'll come.
Yes.
Just keep that faith and it will come to you.
Wow, such a blessing. Love these gems. All right, we are moving on to gift number 4. So gift number 4 is about, it's often said that strength doesn't come from money, right? Instead, it comes from our characters, integrity, and our hearts. So how did you learn that actual lesson, and how is it guided the way that you live and like treat others, kind of like we were just talking about, such as like when you got through things by way of the stepfather that I hate, your old husband, and not the one that passed that I love, that passed of a surgery that went wrong, but the stepfather that I hate, and was later, you were later like strong enough to meet the love of your life. Stepfather that I love, Melvin, and you still manage to just treat people with a heart of gold along your journey, though. Like, how is that possible?
It's possible because that husband was always there for me. The only person that I ever knew that was just there for me. And he'd always tell me, somebody would judge him. He says, I ain't worried about that, because my Father, he always said my Father instead of Heavenly Father or God. Wow. My Father up in heaven will take care of you. And sometimes I'd be so stressed and he would be like, Shorty, get over that. Just let's go pray. Just pray. Just pray on it. Think about it. Sit down and think him. Thank him in the morning. Thank him in the evening. Just think, yes. Just pray. Just pray and keep your faith. And people say, how does she do keep your faith? I do. I keep my faith. Sometimes I'd be like, oh, Lord, I don't know if I'm going to do it. And then all of a sudden, I get turned totally around. And I say, okay, Lord, I hear you. I hear you. Okay, I understand what you're telling me.
That is a blessing. You guys, again, I'm here in Vegas, and we were just talking about her journey and then our journey as me being her daughter and things like that. through all that, just like my businesses, and then her doing cakes as well, and her working in as a trainer for the government and things like that with voting and things. And she has to go through a lot with even that during voting, because everybody has such differences, from Republican to Democrat to just Trump in general, y'all.
Nonpartisan.
Right? And nonpartisan. Right. And they take her through it when she's there in the polls and stuff like that. That is true adversity for her to just like get through things,
Yes.
And how do you manage those type of things?
Well, number one, I've got a supervisor that's truly into the church.
Oh,
and
that's
she'll
a
say,
blessing.
"Come here, Miss Mary, let's pray on this." And we'll pray on it. And but she'll come in there and she's got my back.
That's great.
All my managers have my back, and it helps a lot. And a lot of times I'll be in there working, and it'll be somebody that I'm not for, or they may be against, and I would just treat them nice.
Mm-hmm.
I still try to treat them nice, but at the same hand, once they get kind of out of hand, when I go on that break, I just go get my manager and let them come and talk to them. Are they here to train, to know how to work the machines, or are you here to just see what's really happening in the government? Because you know what? I didn't know until I started working. There is so much behind the voting. It is so much that you have to learn. And luckily, I had that type of a manager and supervisors that helped me out, because I was like, what? I never did this. What?
Right.
But they were there to help me out. And like I said, it really helps that you do have the religion, because in the classes and stuff, that's one thing I do not talk about religion. We do not.
Yes.
But
Wow.
in a roundabout way, I say, just maybe we need to pray on it.
Right.
But I can't talk about religion, no, but yes.
Okay. Well, that is so good, because these days, as you guys probably can relate, in the work environment even, you don't have people who are godly, unfortunately. And so it's a toxic environment, kind of like I came from the good old boys when I was in human resources back in the day. So the fact that you have a good boss, I have friends who have not so good bosses, and they're like, oh goodness, just trying to get through what I went through and what you went. Well, you didn't go through that, thank God, because you have a good boss. Thank you, Jesus, for that. But
yes, he looked out for me. He is there for me to even get that job that I never had did in my life. And like I said, I didn't know everything that came with it. I didn't know. But once I got in there, I learned.
Yep, and that all again comes from even the question. That's your character. God knows your heart, your character, your integrity. And so of course he's gonna look out.
Yes.
So of course he's gonna look out for this is his child, I'm his child, and we all are. So yes.
Yes, he's not gonna steer you wrong. He
I know
will
that's
not
right.
steer you wrong.
Yes.
Sometimes question things, but I'll tell you what, the Lord is there, he'll help you.
Amen to that. All right. Well, last but not least is gift number 5. So gift number 5 in question is, at this stage in your life, you're still active, you work out. I need to get back into working out. You put me to shame. But you're creative with just the stuff that you like to put up. She should have been an interior decorator, you guys. She is phenomenal. You should see her place. Oh my gosh. Phenomenal, right? And then she's just faith-filled. Now, what does the phrase, I am blessed, truly mean to you? All right? And what message would you want to leave like others who just feel tired, overlooked, disregarded, just like overall throughout their lives, their journeys as entrepreneurs, whatever it is. And you can also even talk about your accomplishments and how they mean a lot, and let's just talk about it.
Okay. Well, my accomplishments were, like I said, when I lost my last husband, I didn't know how I was going to make it. But then again, I'm blessed. The faith is there. I don't know what I would do without the blessings that I get, because I just, day to day, you think, okay, how am I going to make this? Lord, what am I going to do this? What am I going to do that? Just pray on it.
Yes.
And I am blessed. I am so blessed. And you know what? You may not even realize it, but you're blessed too. Just blessings are there. You just have to open your eyes and see it. Okay, I could have been out here and didn't have not a penny.
Yeah.
But somewhere I've got that money. I got it.
That's a
Okay,
blessing.
what am I going to do now? Just walk out the door. I'm blessed. Just blessed.
So
Blessed to be around people.
after, unfortunately, Melvin's stepfather that I love, I say he passed a surgery that went wrong. Would you agree?
I agree with that.
So here in Las Vegas, unfortunately, and you became a widow and things like that, to still just persevere and things like that. Because back in the day, I assisted her, you guys, as far as even knowing how to use a computer. When she first got her marketing job, took her from not having to do retail so she wouldn't have to be on her feet all the time. I was like, okay, Mom, you're going to learn how to do marketing. And she's like,
Yeah.
I can't do that. Right?
No, I did.
Did she learn? And
Back to those teachers.
yeah, and I was like, this is what a mouse is. This is how you turn on the computer. All these things. I was like, you can do it just like everyone else did, right? But then back to, unfortunately, when stepfather Melvin, that I love, passed that surgery, you weren't really having to work because he was the breadwinner in the family and things like that, and she didn't have to ask for nothing, right?
That's right.
So what did you do after he left? You picked up jobs and stuff like that?
Yes, sir. Well, after he left, I actually went to the election board. And the reason that I actually went there is because the young lady that's now my supervisor, she knew him, and everybody loved him so much. They call him the dancing machine, the OG.
All right.
But anyway, and you know what I always said too, and for anybody that get in a situation that I am in, you're only promised things for a season. There's a reason for a season, a season for a reason. And I feel like the Lord sent him there to teach me, because he used to I learned so much from him. How to survive, on my own and not be stressed.
Yes.
But yes, a reason for a season for a reason. And that was what it was.
And so you picked up the election board as well as doing the cakes?
Yes, I still do cakes every now and then. How I got started doing my cakes, because I baked them, right? But we had a potluck, and I took it. And after that, everybody was like, oh, can you bake me one of those? And I was like, yeah, for a certain price. I need to pay for the ingredients. So that's how that started. And now, every holiday or even birthdays or whatever, Miss Mary, can you get me a cake? Miss Mary, can you get me a cake? So that's how that started.
Such a blessing. So look, you guys, start where you're at. That's the point of all of this, right? Start where you're at. It doesn't matter your age or your color or anything. You too can do it and persevere through so much. Again, this is coming from a phenomenal person and my hero and my best friend, my mother, Mary Rutherford Howard. But just, again, she started with not knowing her mother. Imagine not knowing your mother at 4 years old. Wow. She didn't know her, didn't even know what she looked like until she was 29. Imagine that, So, and then she went through everything like we just spoke about, and her jobs, and she keeps triumphing. And that's such a blessing to be able to do that. And she keeps the faith, and she's a widow today, unfortunately, but she has God. And she just keeps the faith, and prayer. Prayer works big time, as you heard it right here from her.
It does.
Wow. So I am so grateful to have my mother, my best friend and my hero, Mary Rutherford Howard, the end of the year, my last phenomenal, spectacular guest, also known again as my mom. So but Mary/mom, is there anything that you would like to share and being my guest today about yourself, or a motivational word, or just something to others out there just to help everyone else?
The one thing that I said is, you're never too old to learn. You're never too young to take in new things also. And most of all, I just tell you to keep the faith. Pray on it. Keep your faith. And you can do anything you want to do. Like I said, no matter how old, how young. Just, if you want it, go for it.
Yes.
It'll come.
Love that.
Never give up.
Yes.
Never give up.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love you.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes. Love that, you guys. Let me adjust. Wow, you guys. So phenomenal. I am so grateful for her. You guys, that is my girl. Just so you know, that is my girl, my mama, my best friend, my heart, my world, okay? My hero. Love her. So let's remember to follow and to put to action Mary Rutherford Howard's wise suggestions. If you missed them in the beginning, go back and listen. But also, here are 3 of my own short, giftful questions and tips and gems, all right, for you. So, gift number 1 is titled, Survival is Proof. What do I mean by that? I'm sorry. Survival is proof, not the peak, actually, is what it's called. So, survival is not something to just simply push past or to downplay. Not at all. It is living evidence, you guys, that we are built to endure. All right. So many people, they move too quickly into like what's next and what we're going to be doing. And I'm saying this because we're getting ready to be in a whole new year, right? Without fully honoring like what they've gone through or what they've come through already, right? And that quietly like brings down a person's confidence if you don't at least face it first. All right. So to help in this area, for those of us who do go about things that way, I've got 2 actionable steps to help you in this area. All right. So the first one is, or should I say, it's a powerful way to reclaim the actual confidence, is through evidence-based self-documentation, you guys. And tools like Storyworth or Lifebook memoir software, you guys. So very helpful, all right? And it allows individuals to like capture pivotal like life movements in like guided reflective formats that just simply turn survival into a narrative strength. So very helpful. And then the second one for this area is it's kind of like a resource, and it's called Values in Action. So, or it's abbreviated for VIA. It's a character strengths assessment. So helpful, you guys. And it helps with individuals' actual identity. So if you're trying to get with your identity before the new year, get with this. And it helps with like the strength within your identity that simply like carries you through adversity, which is helpful, and perseverance, as well as bravery. And most importantly, compassion. Very helpful. All right, gift number 2. Gift number 2 is titled, Healing Becomes Powerful When It's Shared. So, one reason why I wanted to do this special episode with Mary Rutherford Howard, and again, my hero and my mother and my best friend, is because it's so very important to just let others know that healing is necessary along your journeys as an entrepreneur, as a business person, whatever it is, right? To get you through things to the next level for yourself. Again, you could be trying to go for a promotion at your job come the new year, or January, February, through the year, whatever it is, right? So it's very important to be able to heal and to let those old wounds just lie, right? So healing, it deepens when it moves from like that isolation, like I just mentioned, into connection. All right. So while not everyone is like called to things like speaking or a podcast like I have or things like that, or even storytelling, everyone benefits from like safe, structured spaces. You know, we don't want those toxic environments going forward, right? Where experiences are actually witnessed. All right. So of course, in this area, and to assist you in this area, there are 3 actionable steps that's going to help you along the way. So one impactful tool is circles or cohort-based community platforms. You guys, they're so very helpful, which allows people to simply just like engage in those facilitated small groups, if you're looking for something like that, and conversations centered on like growth, grief, and resilience. You guys, they're all very helpful to help us get through our journeys. All right. These actual environments, they help like transform the actual pain into shared understandings without like the pressure to like perform or to overshare. You know, back in the day, you guys, I was an oversharer. So getting into these type of communities for myself have really, really helped me not to overshare and not to overthink as well, because I'm very analytical. And then finally, another powerful resource in this area is legacy building tools, such as digital letter writing platforms or a private video like journaling archives, like where individuals can like record messages, lessons, or actual like reflections for like future generations, you guys, or even loved ones. That is a phenomenal platform. All right. This actually like shifts healing from like being inward only to like outwardly like meaningful type of things. And to assist in this area, you guys, you just got to get through your journeys and just put all these things into action. They're going to be very helpful if you do so. All right. So stop feeling stuck and being stuck and just take action. That's my big thing with that. All right. So last but not least is gift number 3. And that's titled Standing Strong is a Daily Decision. So, you know, being still standing isn't one like heroic moment, right? It's about making grounded, intentional choices day after day, all right? So strength actually must be supported by like systems, you guys, okay? That project energy, boundaries, and emotional well-being. Very important, all right, in this area. And for this area, here are 2 actionable steps to help keep you just like walking by faith and in the right direction. So the first one is, and it's a very highly effective type of resource, but it's often overlooked. So it's a tool called Personal Resilience Operating System. And it's created by using customizable life planning software or even like a secure, digital binder, you guys. Very helpful. This system can actually track warning signs of actual burnout. How phenomenal is that? It also tracks like trusted contacts, because you know, not everybody can be trusted. You guys, I told you on another episode about what I went through with even a business partner of mine of 10 years who stole, I'm going to just say that, $30,000 from me. Not a good look, but I'm going through it right now. But I'll get through it because what? I got God and I got my faith, right? And I love to persevere. However, this system is a very helpful system to also help with like coping, strategy. So it's helping me with even all of that and getting through those type of things. And a recovery routine. And just simply making strength proactive instead of reactive. So check that resource out. All right. And then another source, and this is the last one for this particular area and third gem, is it's called the mentorship matching platforms. All right. Or peer accountability, like those ecosystems where individuals can actually check in regularly. This is a phenomenal platform as well to check out with someone like outside their immediate circle. You know, because sometimes we still just need other people who have the same mindset, but they're not in our like current cliques or friend groups and things like that, so that you can just see that you're still on the right path of just your way of life and things like that. So that's a really good mentorship matching platform to get into as well. And again, that'll help you so you're not isolated, but you're still keeping up with your normal friends as well as others who can just help make you and bring you even higher with whatever you're trying to do throughout your life and your journey. All right. All right. So that is all of the gems, you guys, for today. And I know you guys are on here already seen our phenomenal guest, Mary Rutherford Howard. Don't forget to go back and listen and just apply things, you guys. Her biggest thing was for certain, keep the faith. All right. And for those who need that long-handed spoon with love, whether it's a family, friend, or foe, that's just what it is. All right. Because you're going to be okay in the process, no matter what as well. Just like she is, right? So just check us out, you guys. All right. So that concludes everything. But remember what I was just saying about Mary Rutherford Howard. Again, also known as my mom and her journey. You guys, it reminds us that survival is not loud or flashy. You know, all that was just kind of quiet. It kind of quietly came up, and unfortunately things took place and she lost people and things like that, just like many of us go through today. But we still can get through things, right? Don't feel like you're alone, because you're not alone. Not at all. And don't feel like, I know we feel like sometimes it's lonely, and often you might even feel misunderstood throughout your journey and what you're trying to just get through life and things like that. Yet it's sacred. The things that we're going through is sacred. So know that you're going to get through them against all odds and against all storms. All right. You can get to the top of that mountain just like she did, I did, and I'm sure many of you already have. So just keep going. Trust in yourself and keep going. All right. This episode, you guys, it arrives at the perfect time. It's right after Christmas, right? So when many of us are stepping into our new season with mixed emotions, because let me tell you, right before even this episode and before coming here to Las Vegas to visit my mom for the holidays and stuff like that, I had some mixed emotions about a lot of things, right? As I'm sure you're going through in your lives. We're getting ready to have a new year, so everybody's like, oh gosh, I didn't meet what I wanted to before the new year. We're in 2025, but now I'm getting to the new one, and I feel like a failure because I didn't get there, I didn't hit that goal, or I didn't get that promotion, I didn't start that business, whatever it is. Don't feel like that. Because guess what? It's a new year and it's a new day. And therefore, you too can persevere where you need to be and where you want to be and where you get to love to are going to be. All right? Keep that in mind. Some of us, honestly, are so hopeful. You know, we're hopeful, and that's okay to be that way. But some of us are tired, right? So some of us are even grieving in all that we're going through. Again, like I said, and what didn't turn out the way that we expected at the end of this year, right? And yet here we are though, right? Still standing. That is the important part of all of that. And that's such a blessing because so many of us are not, you know? What we've actually learned, you guys, today is that faith is not the absence of hardship. Not at all, right? It is the decision to trust God even when the road is unclear. That's what it's all about. Survival is not a weakness, not at all. I had to learn that the hard way myself, right? Healing is not delayed, and service is not an obligation. It is an overflow of abundance and love that we can all have and endure and live, you know? So as we move forward from this actual episode, you guys, I want you to carry this actual truth with you, all right? You are not behind, you are not broken, and you are not disqualified because of what you've been through. Not at all. You are not broken, and you are not ever going to you're not going to lose it. You're not alone, and you never will be. Not at all. All right? You are actually overqualified, all because of everything that you've been through. So when you feel like you've just been, you're going through things and you're not making it, think back to all the stuff that you've been through and think, wait a minute, I'm actually overqualified, because you are. All right? So let this conversation just simply be a reminder that your story it still has chapters that are left to be written by you. They deserve to be shared by you. All right? And in honor of your next journey, extended grace to yourself, and to step into that next season with courage, knowing that the same faith that carried you through, like I said earlier, will guide you forward. All right? Do that for yourself. As always, you are so much appreciated, you guys. Thank you for tuning in to this 106th episode of the Faith Forward Fearlessly podcast with me, Jenée Hudson, the Uplifter, and of course, that amazing woman, my best friend, my hero, my world, Mary Rutherford Howard, as my special guest. You guys, thank you so much. Please continue to share for ongoing and actionable, inspiring content. Until next time, you guys, keep the faith and have many blessed days and a prosperous journey, and happy, blessed New Year's, you guys, on purpose. Bye.